tuned in via various media, members of the media here this morning. We acknowledge the Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, members of Cabinet, the Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, and other staff of the Office of the Prime Minister. As per usual, the Prime Minister will begin with opening remarks, after which we will open up the floor for questions from the members of the media who have joined us. Please welcome the Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you. Morning, and sorry for the late start. And I want to recognize my colleagues who are here, and of course, the members of the press, the media, and those who are following the live coverage of this press conference. Of course, this is in keeping with our commitment to having at least one engagement with the press per month. And there are times that, because of scheduling, may not happen in that order, but certainly whenever the opportunity poses itself that we do meet. I first of all want to extend congratulations to the police on the celebration of Police Week, which commenced yesterday. I had the opportunity to start off the week with them at the church service in St. Joseph, which I thought went very well. And so I extend congratulations to them and the best wishes on the week of activities. I think it's important that they are highlighting their work and their involvement in the community. Security is crucial in any society, Dominica included. And all things considered, we must say that the police in Dominica are doing a very good job in maintaining law and order and peace and enhancing the safety of our citizens and residents in Dominica. Obviously, nothing is perfect. There's always room for improvement, and they recognize that, and we recognize that, and they'll continue to work in the society, the country, to ensure that our place is secure. Security is a societal responsibility. The police has its role, but each of us in the society also have our role to ensure that there is security of person and property in Dominica. I also want to highlight the fact of the announcement of the direct flight from New Jersey to Dominica by United Airlines. This is a huge step forward and a clear demonstration of confidence that there is a growing appetite and a growing interest in people wanting to visit Dominica, to both to work and to as tourists and also to live. And no doubt this is going to enhance the opportunities for all of us in the country, and especially those in the hotel and hospitality industry, from taxi operators to hotels, to restaurants, to tour guides, to the village shops, to the farmers, to the small business owners. The more people we have is more consumption of goods and services. More consumption of goods and services mean more money in people's pockets, and we hope also more money is in the treasury of Dominica, so that we can continue to provide for the citizens. But this is a huge confidence. And just to say that I know that there were concerns and criticisms with regards to the extension of the Douglas Childs Airport. I too had my own reservations. It took me some time to eventually approve of the funds. Because we build an international airport, and I'm saying, look, with all of the challenges we have and the money that we need to pay people that we owe in, how do I spend over $40 million to extend the runway and do the grooving? But ultimately, we recognize that it was an important investment. One, to sustain the flights that are coming in, that would have eliminated the cancellations because of rain and the runway being wet. But also, there was a very strong view or indication that we run the benefit of having additional flights into Dominica from new airlines. And the moment we completed the extension of the runway, the moment we grooved the entire runway, United says, we're coming. And you've seen that they made an announcement, and they'll be flying directly from Newark, New Jersey, to Dominica. And I believe this is a very positive precursor to the international airport, and the opportunities that the international airport lends itself to in terms of the sustain and expansion, sustenance and expansion of the opportunities in Dominica. That if they're able to come to Douglas Charles, then certainly we expect them to come to the international airport and, of course, other source markets and so forth. So this is a very positive sign. It's a very encouraging sign. I think now we also have to double our efforts on the marketing side and ensuring that our marketing is targeted and people know more of Dominica. And this is what we're working on to ensure that we keep Dominica in the face of the various source markets, so that we can benefit from these flights. And of course, there are other airlines that we're speaking to for additional opportunities of airlift in Dominica. But no doubt, air access in Dominica is better now than it was 2 years ago or a year ago. We have more options. Obviously, we continue to work at more options and more options. But having those direct flights from North America in Miami and, of course, in Newark, New Jersey, we can only talk about positive reinforcements and positive signs for our country. So let's embrace those positive moments and let us build on those. Now, the other issue I'd like to highlight is the attack on the CBI program. Now, let me make it very clear. We run a very robust and very transparent CBI program. This program has helped the country in times of natural disasters and in terms of ordinary times. Since I became Prime Minister of the country, we took a deliberate decision that the CBI funds will not be used for recurrent expenditure, because we never wanted to rely on it as our source of recurrent expenditure. And we decided that those funds will be used for infrastructure, government investment, and also the paying down on expensive debt or national debt. And we've been remaining true to this. We only started using the CBI funds after the hurricane. Revenue dropped, no tax revenue coming in, you have to rebuild, and we started using some of those funds for recurrent expenditure. And also during COVID time, when everybody stayed home, both in the public and private sector, the government had to pay the salaries of all public officers, and the government also supported many private sector entities in paying the salaries of officers, of their workers, because we want to ensure that in difficult times, the dignity of the human being is assured and maintained, that people can take home a pay and pay their mortgages and to take care of their families. And we maintain this. And of course, during the hurricane, after the hurricane, we used the 90% of the funds that we used came from the CBI funds to provide roofs on people's homes, provide food that we purchase, to clean up the massive destruction and debris which existed. Monies we used for small business support, for agriculture, for hotel industry, for agro-processing and manufacturing, 2% and 1% loans at the aid bank, and in many cases grants. Since the establishment of the small business unit, we've given in excess of $67 million by way of grants to small business owners across Dominica. And this is monies we use also to pay for students studying overseas. These monies that we use for building roads and bridges and hospitals and health centers. And of course, the housing revolution, the complete relocation of Petite Savanne and Dubic, and of course, in the Joe Burton area and several housing interventions that we've had in Grand Foy, in Laplin, in Dalis, in Portsmouth, in the Cottage constituency in Lago Portsmouth, and Cotton Hill, Georgetown, and you can name every single community in Dominica. Every single person has been touched by the program. And of course, we continue to work with both our regional and international partners in addressing whatever issues which may arise from time to time. The world is an evolving world. The challenges which you confronted 10 years ago, there are new challenges and emerging challenges that you have to confront. And we've been working in the international community in addressing those issues. We've been working very closely, for example, with the United States government, through the Treasury Department, who came and provided us with the 6 points that we were able to implement, and we continue to work with them. Since the meeting in St. Kitts, we've had 2 meetings with the U.S. Treasury, one in Miami and one in Grenada this year, as a follow-up to see where we are and what we're doing and how we're doing it, and we continue to engage all our partners in this. We've also signed this MOA which speaks to a number of issues where we can do things jointly. It's something that Dominica had been proposing for many years. And I'm happy that finally we were able to get the concurrence of the other governments to sign on to the MOA, to put in place a number of things that we can do jointly. And one of the important aspects of this MOA is the setting up or the establishment of an independent regulatory body that would regulate and oversee the operations of all of the CBI programs in the region. All of this is an effort to enhance transparency, enhance due diligence, and also allow for independent arbiters to come in our program and see what we're doing that is right, see what we're doing that may be not totally correct, and see how we can strengthen the systems to ensure that the robustness of our due diligence is important. We in Dominica, on our own, we have done a number of things. And one of the major things which will come into effect in the first or next month, October, is the establishment of an independent due diligence unit, which will be under the aegis of the FIU, and so they'll be responsible for reviewing all of the files and advising on which applicants will be successful or not, based on the due diligence reports and also based on the report from the GRCC. All of the persons who will be working in that unit have been vetted by the RSS, Regional Security System, and the GRCC, so that we maintain the high standards that we have maintained over the years. And so I want us to understand in Dominica that we're not opposed to anybody raising questions about the program. Sincere, honest, legitimate, transparent questions. But I believe every single Dominican must condemn any attempt at undermining this program. And the reality is, anytime the opposition party speaks on the CBI, has been in a negative light. They had an opportunity to speak on CBS, Al Jazeera, the Daily Mail, the France 24, France 24, and all of those moments they used this platform to besmirch the program. All in effort to undermine the program, all in effort hoping that the program could come to an end and that the people who benefit directly from the program would no longer benefit. The reality is, my dear friends, we need $5 million every month to underwrite the operations of the NEP. Now, we all in Dominica understand and appreciate the positive economic and social impacts which the NEP has on several households across Dominica. That is entirely, has always been financed by the CBI program because it is a capital project, it's a capital program, and it's financed by the CBI. Thank God we have been able so far to continue finance it. Even during the COVID time, we paid the NEP people, even if they were not working, most of them were not working. And they're components of the CBI program because people only see the NEP workers on the beautification program. But there are people who also, under the NEP, who provide care to senior citizens, the sick and shortened, and people with disabilities. There are also NEP people who work in the private sector. There are several small businesses across Dominica who rely on the support from the CBI to underwrite portions of their expenditure. And that has been able to help them, carry them through to sustain the investments until they graduate out of the CBI program. And there are many who are engaged in the public sector, gaining skills, and many of them have graduated and moved into the establishment of the public service, even in the private sector, or government entities. Most of them have gotten permanent jobs at the Aid Bank, at the Social Security, and other entities because of their diligence, the work experience that they have gotten, and they're doing well. And the majority of the housing financing is come from the CBI. The hotels that we built that are now providing employment for people, that has now improved the number of marketable rooms that we have in Dominica, which now, this is part of the reason why there is a case to be made for United to fly into Dominica. This was the reason why there was a case for American to fly into Dominica. This is a case why Caribbean Airlines has been having a flight from United States via Port of Spain, Dominica, Port of Spain, United States, because there are rooms for people to come into. And this is why we're committed to doing more rooms, because there is an increased demand and we have to ensure that we have more rooms to create jobs, sustainable jobs for our people. And of course, the other infrastructure work that we have done in Dominica. And all of these things are being financed by the CBI. The marina is being financed by the CBI. The international airport is being financed by the CBI. Those projects are going to have a sustained long-term positive impact on the lives of the country, of the citizens of the country, and of course, the economy of Dominica. Now, let us not kid ourselves, and the opposition will want to say, no, that's what they want to do. They, in our view, and in view of many independent arbiters, their intention is to stop the program. Because they believe that if the program gets stopped, there's no more source of revenue for the government, then that would maybe precipitate the government this party getting out of the government. As simple as that. As simple as that. Nobody knows how the court is going to react. The court may say, well, let us have a stay of operations of the program until the case is heard. And we cannot, this should never form part of politics in Dominica. We can question things, question operations, question how things are done, but to collude with external actors who do not know how the person in Dominica or the person in Penville or the person in Scottsdale or Capuchin or the Canago territory is having what he's having for breakfast today. And people are colluding with these people, some of whom have never been to Dominica, and who couldn't care hell whether Dominica exists or doesn't exist, and the Dominicans who are partnering with these people to undermine the opportunities of every single Dominican. This isn't about me. And people must never make this thing about me. This is about the country. When the Labour Party was in opposition, we never engaged ourselves in those kind of practices. Rosie would come and inform Eugenia Charles of the situation confronted by our industry. And they'll go to the British parliamentarians who were Labour Party parliamentarians and to get them to ask questions in the parliament on Dominica's behalf. But it cannot be right that this is politics. This is not politics. This is an attack on the country. It is an attack on the way of life and the livelihoods of Dominicans. That the Yes We Care program, which is a program that is providing home care to senior citizens, many of whom who have helped build this country, or the foundations on which we're building this country, but who, for one reason or the other, did not meet sufficient Social Security or Provident Fund contributions, and find themselves in a situation they either live alone or unable to pay for someone to care for themselves. And the government has this program that we send people to clean their homes, to bathe them, to cook for them, to let them feel that that we do care in Dominica, that we do have a caring nature within our DNA in Dominica. And this program has been financed entirely by the CBI program. So you cannot want to take an action and not think of the implications of that action or the consequences of the action. Because if you take a decision and you don't think of the implications or the consequences of your decision, then it is even more dangerous than you taking the action. And so this is what it is. We'll continue to work with our regional international partners. We have a transparent, and also say that it is only when we came into government that people started talking about CBI, The only thing people knew about CBI from 1993 was the Greystone Library project. Nobody in Dominica could tell us or show us from 1993 to 2000, what CBI did for us in Dominica. Nobody could show that to us. Nobody can show us what CBI money did for us from 1993 when it was established, March of 1993, to 2000. But you go across Dominica, and the society is dotted with interventions of the CBI. And I dare say with no fear of contradiction, every single household in Dominica has been touched by the CBI since the government came to office. Everyone. Whether it is sending somebody overseas for medical care, or history care, or somebody's employed, somebody went to study, we have touched, or housing repairs, been touched by the CBI program. Because we always maintain that this money has to be spent to improve the way of life of people. And this the only time this money has been reported to the parliament is when we came to government, where you find it in the estimates of expenditure, revenues and expenditure in the government. And if you go to the estimates, you will see a separate line, revenues from CBI. And if you go to the capital estimates, you will see where it speaks to the projects that have been financed by the CBI in the estimates. So the reality is, if these guys were to be successful at their court action, all of those things will come to a halt. The international airport will come to a halt, the cable car will come to a halt, and this is not fear-mongering, this is the fact. Because if a tap is running and you close it, what happens? Water stops flowing. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. And all of this things come to an end. And just to tell you, some people have this notion that the CBI is, you have money in the Middle East, and people just go and pick it up on the sand and put in a bag or suitcase and bring it back. Look at the marina, for example, or the cable car or the international airport. Range, who is doing the marina, for example, are not waiting to process applications to start the project. They've gone ahead and contracted a loan of $25 million to start the project. Likewise, the cable car. They have not sold a fraction of the allocations they've given to us, but the project is 75% complete. The international airport, from the moment they signed, they started. They're advancing the monies. This is how these things operate. And so, it is unfortunate that this is the action that they're taking. We're not surprised. We're not surprised at that. And we will continue to do what we have to do. On the legal issues, I leave it to the Attorney General, who is the government's principal legal advisor, to defend the state's interests in this matter. So I won't go into legal issues or the details of the case. The Attorney General, I will assign, of course, constitutionally is assigned to deal with such matters of any legal challenge to the government. But we will be as transparent as I've always been in the defense of the patrimony of this country and in defense of the Citizens by Investment Program, and ensuring that this program continues to reign to benefit the citizens of Dominica. I will end here and allow questions to be asked of me on this or any other matter the press wishes to ask questions. Thank you.
Honorable Prime Minister, for your remarks. As you heard from the Prime Minister, we welcome follow-up questions on this matter, the CBI matter, and others. Carlisle?
Carlisle John Baptist, Child News. PM will stay with CBI for a little while. There seems to be some issues as it relates to the drawing down of funds. I know the various projects seem to be on a go-slow. What is the latest developments as it relates to that in terms of the drawing down of funds with the CBI?
All projects are ongoing. As the marina started, and they're going to go full force. There was an issue of a site to temporarily dump of the waste that has been addressed. The cable car work is ongoing. They have 211 Dominicans working on site. The international airport project is going on site. We have over 300 Dominicans